Hello, everyone. I am Rusty number 5, and welcome to episode 2, or I guess this would be the official start of Rusty number Pod. So, Rusty number Pod is, it's pretty self explanatory. It's a podcast where I'm just going to be talking about various things. Like, a lot of it probably will be Thomas related, but I'll probably just be talking about various things just as a whole. Some episodes will have their own topics, some won't. So today's topic would be Thomas Wooden Railway. So last year, Thomas Wooden Railway had this big grand return, and a lot of people were hyped. Like, it was a very, and still is a very big deal, was in Thomas merchandise. So previously, Thomas Wooden Railway had ran from 1992 to 2018, before getting replaced by some very, very terrible items. A brand known as Thomas Wood, and why these brands were terrible, or why these items were terrible, is the fact that they were not fully painted. Like, I guess they did that for, like, effect, or I guess style, but I'm not really sure why they thought that was a good idea. My theory with why they decided to go with unpainted, well, models that are not fully painted, is so that way, like Thomas Wooden Railway, it is very easy to get, scratches on them where, the wood peels off. So my theory with Thomas Wood is that they decided to do that so that way when the scratches do happen, it's less jarring, I guess. I'm not sure if it would even make it less jarring or anything, but I feel like that might have been why. I'm not really sure what other reason there would have been, to be honest. But yeah. Thomas Wood ended up being a complete disaster. Then in 2019, I believe in mid-2018, they started canceling a bunch of new items. I guess we found out why in 2019, when Thomas Wood returns. Now, these models, they were painted, but they were still bad because of how small the items were. Or at least how small some items were. Like, big tender engines like Gordon. You would expect big tender engines to be, decently, sized engines. However, they were all, very small, especially Diesel 10. Like, Diesel 10's Thomas Wood model was downright atrocious. Like, it was just way too small. And then we had Bell, who I personally, I don't know about anyone else, but I thought that Bell looked straight up unrecognizable. Like when I first saw the photo of Thomas Wood Bell, I was like, who is this? But then, of course, I saw it was Bell, but still, it's genuinely, I could not tell, and I feel like that's really bad. Really bad. But yeah, so then fast forward to 2021, when we got a whole bunch of leaked new items, which was, very, very hype, because these models looked they looked good, for once. And then in 2022, these models came out. I have one right here. Obviously, you can't see it, but, I'm gonna try my best to, I guess, describe it. So the wheels are significantly bigger. When you roll them along, they do a bit of an animation. It's kind of like Dave Pilkey's Flip-O-Rama in sorts. Like they're animated when you move them. Yeah, you can probably hear the wheels here. Yeah. The faces had a lot more variety. They're a lot more expressive. They decided to add all the all the extra details that were introduced in seasons 23. In season 23 of Thomas, the characters started becoming a lot more realistic looking, which I guess was Mattel's way of trying to appeal to the people who didn't like how unrealistic Thomas was getting, which was this here. It was definitely not a good idea because it was still pretty unrealistic, and also it just looked a little like a little too much, to be honest. However, I mean, they look fine on these models, I guess. I've made two videos about the new Wooden Railway, so I guess if you want to hear my full thoughts on the models, 2022 Wooden Railway, check them out on my channel, my main channel, if you haven't already. So yeah. However, we have not gotten any new models since the first wave in winter 2022. But yeah, it definitely seemed a little strange that there were no new Thomas Wooden Railway items at Christmas. Obviously, it's not. It wasn't winter everywhere. Yeah, like I mentioned, the only new item we've gotten this year I can imagine most the annual Dale with Thomas from Wooden Railway Thomas, which they do every year for summer right now. So yeah, they've done that. The only item we have gotten this year, it's brought up a very understandable question. Annual Doubt with Thomas Wooden Railway model. Oh my god, I said the title, which is very disappointing. Like I was hoping for more this year. I was hoping. I don't even have more items for that because, like, you know, which I'm not somehow they don't do. You know, obviously Christmas, that's a huge market for toys and stuff. But I guess. So like a decent items answer would be from the Thomas Wooden Railway wiki. There seem to be some new items coming out according to the wiki, which include Carly and Sandy. Sandy is an All Engines Go character. And also Kana, also an All Engines Go character. However, again, nothing seems to have come out. So yeah, there doesn't seem to be much that we can really gather from the Thomas Wooden Railway wiki. But from the looks of it, and this is kind of just an assumption, I think it's 50-50 on whether or not Thomas Wooden Railway is going to come back. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure this isn't the only time that Thomas Wooden Railway has gone on a year-long hiatus. Like, I can guarantee that. Well, actually, I'm going to have to check the wiki again. But I feel like there probably have been long hiatuses before. I'll have to check for that. Okay, I'm looking on the wiki right now. I'm in the 90s. Yeah, from the looks of it, there were indeed a lot of items. I think a lot of them were introduced the previous year, so. Like, the engine's available. But I can guarantee that this isn't the only time that Thomas Wooden Railway has gone on a somewhat long hiatus. This might be the longest hiatus yet, but I'm not too sure. But it is pretty understandable that, like, there's this speculation that Thomas Wooden Railway isn't coming back, and I sure hope it is, because, again, these models are very cool and also very refreshing for just Thomas merchandise as a whole, not just Wooden Railway. However, it does not seem like, for the moment, Mattel has any plans for new Thomas Wooden Railway items, which is unfortunate. I feel like by now we would know. So, to answer the question in the title of this, is Thomas Wooden Railway dead? I'm gonna say it's 50-50. I think we're gonna have to wait a few more months to truly know. But, again, I really hope that Thomas Wooden Railway isn't over. You know, because these are some very cool items, and it'd be cool to have some other items, like maybe Duck, Salty would be cool. Also, I think it's about time for a new Wooden Railway Dalton Douglas, I gotta say. But yeah, who knows at this point, honestly. But yeah. That's pretty much it for the, I guess, restart, kind of true beginning of the Rusty Number Pod podcast. On screen right now, I have Rusty. I'll make a logo at some point for Rusty Number Pod, but right now it's Rusty. New episodes every Monday for as long as possible, and I will see you next time. Rust out.